Hello, the objective of this video is to solve one-step multiplication and division equations. On the previous video, we learned how to solve one-step addition and subtraction equations using the opposite operation to solve. We're going to do the same thing here. Remember, the main goal in solving an equation is to get the variable alone on one side of the equal sign and everything else on the other side of the equal sign simplified. Now, this one we're given 3x equals 9. That's 3 times x. What's the opposite of times? Well, the opposite of times is divide. So we're going to divide by 3. Whatever you do to one side of the equal sign, you got to do the same thing to the others in order to keep it balanced. Anytime you're going across that equal sign, opposite operation. 3 over 3 is 1. 1 times x is x. That's why we divided by 3. It got rid of the 3 and kept the x. 9 divided by 3 gives me 3. Equal sign is still there. There is my final answer. X equals 3. Over here, I've got x divided by 4 equals 3. So in order to get that x alone, I have to move that 4 to the other side of the equal sign. And again, anytime I go across that equal sign or across those railroad tracks there, I need to do the opposite operation, which means instead of dividing by 4, I'm going to multiply by 4. 4x over 4 is going to be 1 times x, which is going to give me x. Just like this worked out to be 3 over 3, this is going to work out to be 4 over 4. 3 times 4 is 12. X is all alone, it's positive. We have our final solution of x equals 12. Here we have a negative. Now this is negative 2 times x. Don't be fooled. A lot of people see this sign out here and they think that that's minus 2. But it's not x minus 2, it's negative 2 times the x. When there's nothing between the variable and the number, it's multiplying. So to solve this one, I have to do the opposite of multiplying, which is dividing. And I'm going to divide by the negative. Negative over negative is going to leave me with a positive 1x. Positive over negative is going to give me a negative. 8 divided by 2 gives me a 4. So my final answer is x equals negative 4. Now you may have heard me earlier say that x is positive. Well, x is positive here. The solution may be negative, but you cannot have a negative in front of the x when you're finished there because that is not completely solved. The variable has to be a positive. The result, the variable what it can be equal to, can be negative. Over here, we've got negative x over 10. Again, I want to get rid of the negative. So when I do the opposite operation here, just like when I had division here, I multiply, I'm going to be multiplying here. I'm going to multiply by negative 10, because I want to get rid of the negative at the same time. Whatever you do to one side, got to do the same thing to the other. And notice how I put the negative number in parentheses. It helps me distinguish the fact that I am multiplying by a negative number, and then I'm not doing subtraction there. These will cancel along with the negative signs canceling. I'll end up with positive x. 5 times negative 10 is going to give me negative 50. Again, x is all alone, it's positive. We have the answer of x equals negative 50. Please note, if you have 1/2 times x, that's the same as saying x over 2. When you think about it, if I put x over 1 like that, still x, right? Top times top is going to give me 1x. 2 times 1, bottom times bottom gives me 2 times 1, which is 2. And 1x over 2 is the same as x over 2. So 1/3 times x is the same as saying x over 3. What does this mean? Well, if I have 1/2 x equals 5, it's the same as saying x over 2 equals 5. Written in this form, it's a little easier to see that to solve, I need to multiply by 2. Do the opposite of dividing, which is multiplying. I get x is equal to 10. You may not see that as easily when you've got the fraction like that. I do have a separate video on fractions. This is only true, this part here is only true as long as the top number of the fraction is a 1. If you have something other than a 1 on top, you got to do a little bit more work to solve. And that's on another video. But as long as it's 1, we've got a division problem. It's a one-step equation. So, let's say we're given 1/2 x equals 6. And we're asked to find x. And yes, you'll be asked to find x, and that doesn't mean pointing there and going, there it is. That's not the way it works. To find x, you're looking to find the value of x that makes this equation true. In order to do that, we have to do the opposite operations. This one is the same as saying x over 2 equals 6. So that's x divided by 2, which means I need to multiply by 2 to solve, which gives me x equals 12. This here is the same as saying negative x over 5 equals 9. I'm going to do the opposite of dividing by negative 5. I'm going to multiply by negative 5, which is going to give me x is equal to negative 45. Okay, the only way to learn math is to do math. So I'd like you to take a moment, try these 4 problems, pause the video, and we'll go over them after you're finished. So pause the video now. All right, you're back. Let's take a look at these ones. This is 2 times x, so I need to divide by 2, and I get x is equal to negative 2. Making sure I keep that equal sign lined up. Number 2, I'm multiplying by negative 3, so I need to divide by negative 3. And that gives me x is equal to negative 4. Positive divide by negative gives me a negative. Here I've got 1/6 times x, which is the same as x over 6, which means I multiply by 6 to solve. Keeping those equal signs lined up. And that gives me x is equal to 18. Over here, I've got negative x over 2 is equal to negative 8. I'm going to multiply by negative 2 because that's the opposite of dividing. Do that to both sides, and I end up with x is equal to positive 16, because negative times a negative is a positive. And that's my final answer on that one. That's how you solve multiplication, division, one-step equations. Thank you.